Is wokeness affecting movies and TV shows? And if so, is it a problem?
Yes. And yes.
Yes, and yes.
So, for example, I think, even today, look, Dunder Mifflin, I watch The Office a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Carell said, and I agree, I don't think The Office could be made today. People would be, so much of it, it is not politically correct humor. They make fun of everything, but it's not politically correct humor. I don't think it could ever get made today. I think comedies in general can't get made because instead of laughing at some difference, it's offended at the difference instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do kind of notice, to me, I don't really have an issue with it until it affects the story or the characteristics, where it's like they're going so far to shove something or do something where it takes away from the story, like they kind of went out of their way just to do it, just so they did it or whatever. Other than that, I don't really have an issue with it as long as it, I want stuff to be close to the source material. Don't make Shaggy all of a sudden very smart and then Velma really dumb, just to kind of change roles of just for the sake of doing it. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that.
So I kind of hate that go woke, go broke, as everybody says.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people that complain about the wokeness are complaining about the loud
Mm-hmm.
people that stand for that kind of stuff, because all the woke stuff that people hate is just, at the end of the day, I feel like it's just people just be a decent human being.
Yeah.
But people are so far stuck in their old ways that they were just anything new, any change that the woke crowd brings, they just hate it. So they just hate that whole
Mm-hmm.
term and stuff. But I think the people that that are ridiculous with it, yeah, that's annoying. But
yeah,
if you get called being woke for just being I think people should have rights.
yeah.
You're woke now.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate you. I dislike you. I'm just want to be a decent human being.
Yeah.
I just had to look up the actual term because I don't know, the whole terminology drives me
Yeah,
nuts.
it's so. I
It's
hate
such
the word too.
I hate the word. I hate
people use it wrong more often.
right. So the
When I see
definition,
it.
the Merriam-Webster definition is aware and actively attentive to important societal facts and issues.
That sounds very subjective for a official definition. Important.
It was the Merriam-Webster
Yeah.
definition. So
Yeah.
right, importance to you is a different what my importance means, but societal issues. I mean, isn't that just like Josh said, just being a decent person?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not on that. I'm not an activist. I'm not sitting here talking about social issues and social injustices because I don't know. It's just not me. But
Right. I do see a lot of there's some movies that got so much hate, and I don't understand why. Okay, yeah, they were bad, but they weren't so bad to where they deserved to get ripped apart like they did. Take Wonder Woman 1984 for example. Not really a good movie, but it wasn't as bad as a lot of other movies that come out. Netflix has a whole library of movies that are worse than that. None of them are getting ripped apart like that.
Why did that movie get ripped apart?
Why? Good question. Why did it get ripped apart?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I'm asking.
Probably because.
Have you seen it?
Well, a lot of people.
Right. The first one is so good, so it had a hard journey to be considered good because the first one was so good.
Oh, okay. This is a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then you also go back to Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is not one of the best MCU movies. People love to point that out, and then people love to complain about it. But why is that?
Because Brie Larson sucks at acting.
Yeah, but and then there seems to be a trend. I'm just saying there seems to be a trend where if there's a female lead, no matter what it is, it gets bashed.
Female lead in a comic?
In
or
anything, there seems to be a certain people that just don't like female-led movies.
Any genre.
Especially of the superhero.
Because all he's mentioned is superheroes, so I thought maybe that's
Well, do you think they're
That's
made?
been really
And I like those movies. I liked them, but I can see why a lot of people thought Wonder Woman 1984 was bad. It's because like that whole part where she brings him back, but he's in another person's body.
A little strange.
But that's a sequel.
Yeah.
Which sequels usually tend to get pretty
He
hard.
died,
Anyway,
he
don't
died in the
they?
first one, so.
Yeah. I don't know.
Except for the Godfather, you're right.
Disney movie.
Because don't they say Godfather
Yeah.
is the best?
Yeah.
But anyway,
I
sequels
don't.
usually get ripped
Yeah.
apart. I don't know. I've never seen all of them.
To me, I don't think any of it is a problem. Just tell a good story and then do it right. If you're going to touch on something that is classic, such as you guys watch Velma?
No.
By any chance? If you're going to touch on a classic or whatever, and you're not even going to stick to the source material at all, to me, there's no point of even making it. It would be like them making a Batman thing and completely changing everything. Where Batman's not even a bat; he's like something else. He's
How do
like
you feel about Winnie the Pooh?
one of
The new one. It's
I
a
haven't
horror
seen it.
movie.
Yeah, see that one's a little weird. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I heard about
It's a
that.
horror movie.
yeah, it's a dark take on Winnie the Pooh where he is a murderous monster.
Right. So that's different.
Yeah.
What about the thoughts of like a female 007? Like, because
Why not?
there's been
Sure,
talks about that.
why not?
What do you
Yeah.
They
think?
can make it.
If you hate James
Just not Brie
Bond,
Larson.
or you don't want a female James Bond,
Okay.
don't watch it.
I like
Yeah.
the movie.
That's
But
so
it was
simple to
cringe
me.
at some
Yeah.
points, like when they walk
Like-
through humans.
Mhm.
There's so many other James Bond movies.
Right.
Watch one.
Mhm.
Why do people hate when? Like, why can't they have stuff too? I guess. Like, why can't women want a?
Well,
Why can't
see,
they have
and
that?
that's what having stuff too. I think is and that's an important distinction from my point of view. It is not so much having stuff too, like Wonder Woman as like a female-led movie. It's a great movie, not
Mhm.
because it's female-led. It's just a good movie.
Yeah.
And I think it's perfectly done well. I think like when someone having something too, most people don't mind that. I think they start to mind it more when it's at the expense of what they have.
Yeah.
It's like if you would have a super charismatic woman spy, go do that. But why does it have to be at the expense of what I already enjoy of a male James Bond? That's just a random example. And you're right, like something too, because some things are made just for the sake of doing it versus why not just be good? I tried to watch the new I guess the second newest Ghostbusters, the woman-led one. It was unwatchably bad, I thought.
Okay.
It's like, I think some stuff is just
Yeah.
made like, well, let's do it with women now, which
Ocean's
is
8.
like Bridesmaids, hilarious comedy.
Mhm.
You guys ever seen Bridesmaids?
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
I would recommend it. It's really, really, really
It's
good.
funny.
And it's a movie that you can tell it's female written, led, like female everything, and it's really good.
Mhm.
It's like when you try to take something which is already successful, something else, and now let's just prop in a minority and do that. I think that's what irks some people
Yeah.
the same way. It's not like have something to it. It's have this instead of mine.
Yeah.
I
See,
think
those
it's
don't bother me. I think when people get upset when Little Mermaid is black, I think that's
Yeah.
obnoxious.
Yeah. If that's
Like, why-
that I don't
or-
get that
No,
either.
the people who get upset about it.
Yeah.
There's people who are upset that she was black.
Or like Miles
Yeah, there is,
Morales.
yes.
There's reasons for that.
And Spider-Man.
100%.
Well, I
Yeah.
know, but who cares if she is? It's a fictional
Exactly.
mermaid.
Like take
I don't have such good hair in the water anyway.
like take Jim Gordon, like Jim Gordon for example. He's in every other adaptation of Batman. It's a white guy with a mustache. Well, in the newest Batman movie, it's played by a black guy or whatever. But he does such a great job. He does such a great job because he keeps everything like how you remember Jim Gordon. He acts like him, talks like him, does everything. There's no reason to like. And now I'm like, man, like he's a really great. He's one of the best Jim Gordons I've ever seen. Like so, I don't. The fact that Ariel is black, that to me is that's
Well, I
just
mean, I don't really
ridiculous.
care. I don't. I mean, it's a fictional character. Who cares what she is?
Hmm.
If you want to watch it, watch it. Don't. I think sometimes I don't like. Forgot what I was going to say. No, I do. When they change like the storylines, like how many Batmans are there?
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
Like
Every
how
10
many
years is a
different
new one.
stories?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like every
So
like
there's
so long, there's
gonna
like a
be-
whole new generation. Oh, it's a new take. No, it's not. I'm sorry. I don't care. It's the same stupid story over and over and over.
Yeah,
I don't mean
but
stupid.
the way it's
But-
presented can
Well,
change.
yeah,
so.
but it's still the basis of it is
A
still
reimagining.
reimagining. So isn't it if she was female, wouldn't
Yeah.
that just be the same thing then? They're just reimagining, tell the story a different way.
I mean, like I said, I am not bothered by any of that. I don't care who they cast or whatever. if I'm watching it, I just expect it to be good. To be good, the best actors, and good storytelling. And I don't let that other stuff bother me. That's what I'm getting at. But
What was the original question?
like, do you think it is like affecting TV shows and like movies? Do you think it's? Do you think there's
Shouldn't
a?
it, though,
You think?
Shouldn't we be sensitive to societal issues?
Yeah, but then there's also people like you should separate some stuff because I mean it's not like you can't get that. You can go log on to the internet and get all that if you want to.
It's like you're trying to watch a movie to escape like
Mhm.
all the issues and everything. So like,
Okay, but we're not going to go say things that we're not supposed to say on like in a movie.
yeah, I get
That would be
that.
discrediting.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just talking. I'm just talking
It-
about.
I don't know.
Like I don't know what The Office. I've seen very little of it from you guys watching it here. Like
Mhm.
what's in it that what makes you think it wouldn't get made today?
There's an example where Michael Steve Carell's character outs Oscar, a gay character, and like forces him to kiss him in the office to show his appreciation of gay people. I don't think that could ever, and really comes from I think kind of a good place. It's like I'm going to force you to kiss me because I embrace gay culture so much.
Yeah.
I don't think that would stand.
I think
I don't.
comedies are just so different though because part of the reason why they're so funny is because a lot of people find it offensive. Like
Yes.
that's comedy. That's just comedy.
Bit of a shock factor.
Yeah, like most comedians, they'll even say they walk a fine line of being very offensive and funny. Like it's hard to be funny if you're not hurting someone's feelings. That's and if you are, you're probably considered dry, corny, or bad. So
There's some truth to that.
and The Office is a comedy. So and it's actually and the reason why we think it's funny because it is making fun of yeah, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think I don't know.
Well, like,
It's I don't know. It's people like when it comes to like sports, people hate when athletes, famous people have any kind of opinion on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then they're saying, "Oh, like you shouldn't bring politics into sports."
yeah.
It's like you can bring politics into anything. They're still just doing their job.
it's like me.
And it's
You're
like,
allowed to have an
you
opinion.
just-
If you're allowed to have an opinion,
You
just
just
gonna do
hate
what
that
it
they don't
is.
have your opinion,
Yeah,
and then they hate because from my experience, when I see the anti-woke, I'm not woke. I hate using that word.
Mhm.
So
When I hit the
cringy.
anti-woke crowd, there's a big what's the word? Coincidence, you know, why they hate a lot of athletes in
Yeah.
their
Mhm.
political views because they're a different skin color. The people that complain the most are I think they're just bad people to begin with.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with it, but
Yeah,
I'm not like I don't make it my own personality like some internet woke warriors do. So
Mhm.
their whole life is dedicated to taking that stuff off the internet.
Yeah.
Just,
Mhm. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I just want a good story, whatever. If I'm going to go watch something Batman related, I would like to at least have it somewhat close to what I'm used to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, if it's different, yes, I don't have to watch it again. I get that. But that doesn't mean I don't have the right to my own opinion and I get to voice my own review on it. I say it's bad, because that's what I think, and that's why I think it.
not everything's made
Mm-hmm.
for. I think that's people forget sometimes.
That's
Not everything's made for you. I'm just using
Mhm.
you in this example
Yeah.
because you like the movie. It's like
Mhm.
they want to make a female James Bond or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably not doing it to please you.
really,
Mhm.
I think the ones, ironically, that would be upset about that are the women. Because Karen was sad when Daniel Craig left James Bond.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, he dies at the end. So,
Oh.
new James Bond we're looking for.
Gotcha.
But I think it's a lot of the draw of why he resonates. I think women like him too.
I think people forget that though. Not everything's for you. The
Yeah.
content, not every piece of content
Yeah.
made, put out on the internet
Mm-hmm.
is made targeted towards you. So of course it's not going to be what you want or what you think or
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
line up with your ideologies. So
Yeah.
Very
complaining on it and being just bashing people for it is
Mm-hmm.
just, I feel like a complete waste of time. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think you touched on what gets people's nerves though is the have stuff too versus like either or. Like we have this or we have this, or you have yours too.
Mhm.
I think that's sometimes what really pushes a button on people.
Yeah, but how does that well, I'm just using the James Bond because we're talking about. If they want to make a female or like person of color version of it.
I think personally,
How do
Idris Elba
you-
too old, but he'd be a great James Bond.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But if they were to make that one at the same time as they made like a normal James Bond, stereotypical James Bond, they'd be like, why don't they just make one movie? Like, why do they got to separate it? Everything's about race. But then they make one at a time. Like when you're, I'm just making the point with, you
Yeah.
can't have, they want this, but they don't want that, and it's like, what do? They can't win.
Just make a new one. Didn't
Yeah.
they? Have you guys not seen the last James Bond movie?
I have
Surprised
not
by
seen it.
Well, there's the one chick, I forget her name, but she had like a small role in it. She was in that Maryland movie. I forget her name. Something Armis. But she had like a small role in that, and everything like that was like set up for a spin-off and stuff like that. Like if you want to have I was all about spin-offs and everything like that.
Mhm.
That makes perfect sense to me. Have a whole own everything.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't Wonder Man that became Wonder Woman. It was just Wonder Woman the whole time.
I don't know.
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah. Also, there is also that in entertainment, was it that quote or whatever? A bad reaction is better than no reaction. They either want
Negative publicity is better than
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, honestly, sometimes they like that because they like feedback. A lot of
Yeah.
times, like when they release movies, like there's no reaction to it whatsoever, and they're just like, we don't know if people like this movie or not. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, like I'm not bothered by it or anything. Like I said, I just want a good story, and if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't.
And I think the market, especially like in movies and TV,
Yeah.
tends to speak for itself pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are attracted to things that they want to watch and don't watch things they don't want to watch.
Mhm.
And I think that's pretty easy to.
That answers everything.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
right there.
So
If you're Netflix, whatever, you're
Mhm.
probably just gonna make choices based on how
Yeah.
many viewers this particular
But
thing has.
There are a lot of people on the internet that hate
Movies,
watch.
too.
They will purposely watch it because they hate it, so they can talk even worse about it, and then they can go on and make a bunch of reviews and go on Twitter and then make 100 memes about it. Just they can't just let it go. Like, okay, you didn't like it, cool, move on. No, there's those people that really have to hammer it hard, and those were the people that hammered Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, and so many others. There's people that just hate
Did people
watching it.
hammer the first one? Wonder
Not the
Woman?
first one. The first one
That
was
was
good.
just so
The
good.
first one was good, except
It's a
well,
good movie.
it had a third
I guess
act
I
problem. But
don't understand how Wonder Woman and all those movies fall into being woke.
I don't think those were. I don't think that was a woke thing. I think those were just people that really had
People
a.
hate women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
That's why.
No, the Brie Larson did actually suck in that movie, but I don't think that's why she got most of the shit that she did.
Mhm.
People will say that's why they're giving her shit. I don't know.
Like, I've seen Green Lantern, and that is nowhere near as good as like Wonder Woman 1984. But Green Lantern did not get slammed the way Wonder
That's
Woman
how it is.
1984 did.
Oh,
So you're like,
I get it.
yeah, I don't know. There's a weird correlation with that. That's all I'm saying.
you look at two crappy movies and the one woman leg gets slammed more.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now I understand.
Do you remember? Do you remember how much hate it
I
got?
never saw it, but if they say it's really bad.
Dude,
I'm lost here.
people gave Wonder Woman 1984 a 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 10. It was not that bad.
Because
Okay, yeah, it
was
wasn't
female
great.
led.
Huh?
Because it was female led.
I feel like movie
You know-
critics are sus a
I don't
lot.
think it was a.
I think they also just hate superhero movies.
It
I don't-
wasn't a great movie, but I think the first one set the bar so high
Yeah,
that it was going to fall short no matter
Okay,
So not
yeah.
necessarily that it was female led, just that it was a crappy movie. All
yeah.
around.
It wasn't
I
the
think-
fact that okay, yeah, it was not a good movie. I will say that, but it was not so bad to deserve the hate that it got because people took it to a whole like level of hate. Like they hated it was bad, awful, terrible, whatever, and it just it's like why? What is it about it that is so much worse than all the others? And then no one can really answer that question. And then the only thing I come up with is it because it's a female-led superhero movie? I
Is
don't
there
know.
any other female super led?
She-Thor?
She-Thor? There's a She-Thor?
Wasn't the
And
last
then-
Thor movie
yeah.
with Natalie Portman?
Natalie
Wasn't that like?
Portman.
Yeah, which was also the
Thor
worst.
for that movie.
Worst
I heard it's not
received.
that good.
Yeah, it was also the worst received Thor
I
movie.
think people just don't like superhero movies. Actually,
But that wasn't a female led
Kind of
though,
felt-
right?
No. That was with Chris Hemsworth and her, and she was
Okay, so for-
in the top billing.
But she was still a supporting actress.
Yeah.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, it felt 50-50.
Yeah, I remember people were worried. They're like, "Oh no, Thor's going to pass the torch, pass the hammer over to her." But
Pass the hammer.
anyways, I don't know. Like
It almost-
I said, at the end of the day, like I'm none of that stuff affects me whatsoever. I am fine with all of it. I just want to be able to have my own opinion on something, and I want them to make. I want to watch a good product. I don't care how they do it. I just want it to be good. And if I don't like it, I'm going to say it. So I'm not going to just sit there and bash it and
Yeah. Bash it if it's not very good.
All right.
But how are
If
people
you
going
want-
to know?
If you want, it's just an opinion.
Yeah. Right.
But back to the original question.
Yeah.
Was
Do you think it's affecting TV shows and
I
stuff
think
like
yes.
I think you'd be oblivious, ignorant to say that.
Yeah,
doesn't.
it
Yeah.
affects.
Yeah, it's definitely affecting it because we weren't having these conversations, 20 years ago about movies. I mean, maybe if we did, it wasn't as often, for sure. So yeah, I'll say yes.
is it a good thing?
I don't know if it's good or a bad thing, really. Honestly.
I think a lot of things in society and culture like a pendulum, right? It was some way where you could just say anything and everyone had to be okay with it for a long time, and I think it kind of has swung. I think to maybe the other side where it might overcorrect itself to more in the middle, where you know what, you can joke about things because things can just be funny. Things are funny. Welcome to life. Things can be really funny, and
Yeah.
sometimes
You have no.
it's at a little bit
I
of your
guess
expense.
not. I guess
Yeah.
I don't have a sense. I just don't think.
And sometimes someone in a movie or show teases something that is the same thing true about you, but it's probably still
I
funny.
think we need to be overly insensitive or sensitive for that matter.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do think there is a fine line that we need to cross. But you call me property, we're gonna have problems. That's all I'm saying.
What?
Because women were considered property.
Oh.
Oh,
You know?
How did that come from?
Well, that's what being woke is, societal issues and whatnot.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. So if you
Yeah.
talk on this and you joke on this in a TV show, yeah, people are going to be upset, and I think rightly so. We should be.
Mhm.
Sorry, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
So yes, I do think that probably we need to be somewhat sensitive.
All right.
You're so
All right,
insensitive
so
about things. Though.
Does that settle it?
Probably.
Much as it will.
All right.
Right, 'cause none of us
All
here
right.
are
Well,
gonna
there we
change
have it.
anything.
Yeah. I
Gosh.
feel